Hello fans, collectors, investors, welcome back to Iconic Baseball, Iconic Al here, and I'm feeling very at peace today because I have solved for myself a dilemma that I've been having and that probably many pre-war all-time greats and Hall of Fame collectors also wrestle with. A dilemma that I've had to turn over in my mind a lot in the last few years, and that is whether to collect or neglect Cap Anson. And so as we go into how I was able to solve my dilemma, we will explore the Cap Anson Conundrum.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Cap Anson was the greatest player of the 1800s. His 94 WAR, 334 career batting average, and his status as the first member of the 3,000 hit club make him a legendary player. And I don't regret including him on my top 100. But on my video for the top 100 countdown that included Cap Anson, I mentioned that I was wrestling with what I wanted to collect for Cap Anson, because my whole idea of collecting is connecting. And do I want a connection to this man? A man who was pretty much solely responsible for the color line in baseball, the segregation that kept black ball players out of baseball for 60 plus years. So let's just get the facts straight on this side of Cap Anson. He refused to play against black players. As the manager of the Chicago White Stockings, later the Cubs, Anson repeatedly demanded that opposing teams remove their black players or his team would refuse to take the field. The Moses Fleetwood Walker incident, in a pivotal 1883 exhibition game in Toledo, Ohio, Anson fiercely objected to playing against catcher Moses Fleetwood Walker, one of the few black players in professional baseball at the time. Though the opposing manager called his bluff and forced him to play, Anson and his team vowed to never do so again. Demanding a black pitcher be removed. In a separate 1887 exhibition game, Anson again protested playing against a team with black players, including pitcher George Stovey. Anson's threat forced Stovey to be scratched from the game. Anson's star power and prominent position as a manager meant his racist demands directly influenced the actions of league owners. His actions were seen as representative of racist attitudes among many white players, making it easier for owners to justify segregationist policies. And here's where it says his influence really prompted the color line itself. The 1887 incident involving George Stovey coincided with the International League owners voting to ban future contracts with black players. The major leagues, though never writing a formal ban, adopted a gentleman's agreement that prevented black players from participating, creating a system of segregation that lasted 60 years. So this man was instrumental in the segregation in baseball for the early period, the pre-war period. And so I was really struggling with how I would want to represent Cap Anson in my collection up until I saw my buddy Darren, a return to collecting. He did a video maybe a year or two ago where he had picked up a very interesting 1889 trade card that featured an image of Cap Anson, of him in a very humorous crying baby depiction. And Darren's influence was very strong on me, because at that moment when I saw that video, I kind of thought to myself, the clouds parted. Here's a playing era depiction of Cap Anson with him depicted as a crying baby. What better way to portray a man who refused to take the field against black players than a crying baby? And so that image stuck in my brain for a year or two. And then recently an auction popped up and I was able to add an 1887 Tobin lithograph featuring none other than Baby Anson, as he's called here. The caption, "Oh Mama." And you see a crying depiction of baby Cap Anson being, pummeled in the chest with a high velocity baseball. So, this is just perfect. And then this is to promote Dr. Friend's cough balsam. So here's a beautiful back on this. It was used as a trade card to promote basically a cough syrup from back in the day. One of those remedies you would see at the pharmacy for cough balsam. So really a beautiful condition. Probably would grade a 2 or a 3, I would think. And I probably will get it graded by PSA one of these months here. But this was my solve. Thank you, Darren, for the influence, for the inspiration to do this. It really is a perfect depiction for a way to add a playing era Cap Anson piece to my collection without breaking the bank, because Cap Anson cards generally aren't cheap. This I had a best offer of $100. I think all in I'm in for $115. So for the oldest card in my collection, so that's pretty cool too. But also an item in my collection that, when Cap Anson saw that image, he didn't like it. And it made me actually dig a little bit deeper on like, okay, well, what was going on here? Because this set, I did some digging on this set. It's the 1889 MF Tobin H804-1 Baby Talk series. And as far as I was able to find, there's 9 images included in this set. And as you can see here, most of the images depict Victorian era children that are engaging in baseball activities. Most of them gleefully enjoying themselves generally. None of them crying, none of them being pelted in the chest by a high velocity baseball. So it made me start to wonder, well, why of these 9 images that I could find from the 1889 H804-1 Baby Talk series, why is the one image of a crying baby getting pelted with a high velocity baseball the image of Cap Anson? And so that prompted me to look up, well, who was MF Tobin, the creator of these lithographs? What was his deal? Did he have any reason to have a beef against Mr. Anson, who by 1889 would have been 19 years into his playing career? So well established where Mr. Anson stood on a variety of issues, including race. Well, here's where it gets interesting. When I looked up the name MF Tobin, I found that the man served fighting for the Union in the Civil War earlier in his life. So the creator of this lithograph fought against the Confederacy, fought against slavery, clearly would have known Mr. Anson and his stance against black players and his overall racism. And my theory, after my research, is chose to depict Mr. Anson in such a way. So for me, doing a little bit of background research after I acquired the piece makes me only love it more, that much more. Because there were, there's political leanings that were going on back then that, I think shine through in the image of this lithograph. And I think it's an amazing piece of history where you have, clearly a maker of lithographs who was able to voice his displeasure or his disdain for Mr. Anson's views and his overall, racist attitudes toward black players. So that's just my 2 cents. I have nothing else to back this up besides this background cursory research that I've done here. But if anyone else has a deeper take or knows more than I do about this set, or maybe the creator of that lithograph beyond what I have been able to find, I'd welcome it in the comments. And I just wanted to share my pickup and how I was able to solve for myself the Cap Anson Conundrum. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, keep collecting and stay iconic.